when we hear words like Mexico is sending in people with lots of problems and they're bringing those problems. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. Those words are just so divisive. They're tearing this country apart. And it's looking at classes of people not as individuals, but as stereotypes. Can we believe that? There are some politicians that are getting elected on the back of immigrants. And we want to think about that as a moral issue. We have a culture that allows families to be separated and kids held in cages. Not right. There are some that say that the Democrats want more immigrants simply so that they have more people to vote for a Democratic president. How simplistic. Immigration should be something beyond just getting elected. Immigration is special. It allows people to come into this country and to enhance their lives. Who doesn't want to have their life enhanced? I encourage you to think about this when you read this wonderful book. You will find stories that show that these immigrants are all individuals, not general classes of people, but everybody who has individual needs and motivations. Again, I encourage you to look at this wonderful book, and not only look at it, but read it. Building America, Immigrant Stories of Hope and Hardship. You will find that every immigrant is different. There are not classes of people, there are just individual stories, and those individual stories are what makes America great.
One good thing about Building America, Immigrant Stories of Hope and Hardship, is that it doesn't take a lot of people to realize what's going on in our country today and what we need to do to help immigrants. And basically what Glenn O'Cray and myself, Mary Assel, have decided to do is to put together this book and not even think about any kind of profit that we're going to make from the book, because I've already connected with the ACLU, and hopefully every single penny made from this book will go to help immigrants in need and who are sitting at our borders and cages and unfortunately being held for no reason sometimes. And lots of people are separated. It's sad. And I have personal experience with this through watching my students as they came in as immigrants. And I had about 86, 87 different nationalities, and most of our students were afraid when they first came to this country. And the beauty of this book is that it's a diversity of people who come from all over the world. We made sure that we didn't just have one culture, one story. It's diverse, and each one of those immigrants tells us about his or her story and how they became who they are today. One of the immigrants, in fact, had adopted a child who was not white, Anglo-Saxon American, and he suffered as a result of raising this young girl and being accused of, not even being accused. They would look at him, and I'm just giving you an example from the story. You will read many, many, many stories where people were intimidated, were afraid. And then I go back to my own ancestry and my grandfather, and we all show, and all the immigrants show, how even though coming to this country was hard, stories of hardship, they still, in the end, they still succeed. They excel in their professions. Some of them even forget where they came from. This is their country. They don't remember where they came from in the sense that their children and grandchildren have now become American more than any other person around them. And so there's a story here that we wanted people to hear. And if you read our book, you will not only be entertained, but you will also be able to help many of the immigrants who are in holding and they don't have a penny. I know a lot of them came with 25 cents in their pocket. So a lot of people don't have money, and this is one way to help them out. Read our book.
Hope and hardship. Keep that in your mind as you think about this collection of essays by people from all over the world: Europe, Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, quite a variety. If we are not indigenous people from this country, then we are all immigrants at some point, and you are going to find a variety of stories throughout this collection. In fact, the book answers an impulse of the need for storytelling that goes back into our primordial ancient history, from before there was writing, when there was storytelling moving from village to village, tales of people's lives, adventures, family history. This is just growing out of that oral tradition into the written word in this wonderfully put together book. It reflects the heart and the soul of those who continue to build America and who have built America and who have hope, although hardship, but hope in their lives here. So I would ask you to think about them as you read through, contribute to their stories by supporting the book, and enjoy every page.